I don't know what number this is, what number is on your tape. This is Wednesday night channeling, did you? I think it's 44. And the title, Elva, has been writing through me, and so it came out so beautiful I thought I should read it to you. And then we'll channel the other way. The Plan is the title. It says, before you were born, you and the beings of light made a plan for this incarnation. This plan has to do with what you call karma. My dear ones, you can spend many incarnations working out your karma, or you can wake up. The majority on your plane at this time will go about slowly working out their karma, making a little progress in one lifetime and falling back in another. From your concept of time, it would seem that they are lost in a no-win situation. But I tell you, my dear ones, God knows not the concept of time, for time does not exist in his consciousness. Only man has created this illusion, and in doing so he rushes about frantically gathering red beads while he tramples the pearls of wisdom in the dust, knowing not that the red beads will soon turn to ashes, while the pearls of wisdom outlast all eternity. As you go about gathering things unto yourself, think about getting wisdom, eternal wisdom. It will hold you high in the divine light for ages to come. Mankind feels the urgency to get ahead as the vibrations of this new age come into fruition. But bless him, he misunderstands what getting ahead means. He thinks that if he has enough money or material wealth, it will buy him happiness, peace, and freedom from worry. You see, my dear ones, you cannot buy the kingdom of God with all the dollars or gold in the world. The kingdom is already yours. It dwells within you, not in the outer physical world. It has been said by one of your writers that God's plan for you is your heart's desire. This is true if the individual is awakened to the true reality of being, but most desire material things and wealth of the physical that can be wiped out overnight. God's plan for you is to find his presence, his kingdom within your being, for you and the Father are one. When you come to this realization, you will know him, and you will know that you are made in his image. You will then cast off the physical shell and stand in the glorious light of his radiance, knowing whereof you come and wherever you go. The Father's love for his children is drawing them up in consciousness to the realization of their divinity. He has lovingly given all the freedom to tarry in the lower dimensions as long as they feel the need of the created universe. But as their true nature is divine, made in the image and likeness of himself, all will find their way home. To you who know the love that flows from the heart, his heart, are given much. His angels watch over all, but to those who know not, but to those who know that they are guided by his loving care, can move quickly upward in consciousness. And that's as far as we got with that. I thought it was worth reading. Good evening, my blessed ones. It is indeed a pleasure to be with you in this circle of light. And could you see this circle of light from my vantage point, you would indeed be amazed, for you have come here of your own accord to hear the truth and to open your minds and hearts to the wisdom of the ages, to the eternal knowledge that will set you free from all illusions and the lower dimensions. As you move higher in consciousness, you are open much more. Each inch that you make upward in consciousness opens a door to more light to flow into your mind and to your consciousness. And as the light brightens, you awaken to the true reality of your being. You understand that you are not physical in nature. You are divine. You are made in the image and likeness of the Creator of all life. And as this understanding dawns in your heart, to the degree that you turn from the desire for material things to the desire for the truth and the reality of being, then it is given to you to know the kingdom of God. This does not mean that you will not play your part in the physical plane as you go about, because you have made a contract, a plan before you came into the physical to play a certain role. But I tell you in all earnesty that you can awaken at any moment that you desire. You can awaken to your divinity in a moment, in a flash, in the blink of an eye. This can be done if your foundation is solid and strong. This can be done to bring about the freedom that you desire. For deep within your heart is the desire to be free, to move in to your spiritual nature and be free of these lower dimensions. Some of you may not understand this because it is new to your ears, but I tell you, as you are true spirit, spiritual in nature, you are not physical matter. You are wearing the garment of the physical body. You have a mind to think with on the physical plane. But in true reality, my dear ones, you are divine, you are spiritual, in true image of God Himself. As you awaken to this, as you move higher in consciousness, the light grows brighter, and you become aware of more of yourself. This will be true throughout eternity, not just until you reach a certain place. For you see, my dear ones, life is not standing still. It is ever expanding and bursting into more of itself, and so is God. God is moving forward and growing as you are growing. He is growing through you, through all of His creations, and He is moving higher in consciousness as you are moving higher in consciousness. It is my desire tonight to make contact with you, with your inner self, to awaken you to this truth. There are times when you work diligently to raise your consciousness, and there are times when you coast or go backward a little bit and dwell in the world of illusion. And I would say to you that this is your choice, and I would not take it from you, for God has given it to you. I could not take it from you. But I would say to you, awaken, dear ones, awaken to the truth. Be your true self. Be true to the reality of your being. Be true to the divinity that you are. Let us pause for a moment and have a quiet time and consider what has been said and let it sink in to your consciousness. As you move on your physical plane, you have plans for your work, plans for your income, plans for your retirement, plans for this and plans for that. But I say to you, my dear ones, the greater overall plan is the one that you should consider the most, for it is the plan that will give you the power, the love, the joy of being that raises you far above this physical plane, that gives you the freedom to roam the universe, that gives you the understanding of your true nature. You have heard of some who have reached this state. There are many who have been Christed on your plane and have reached this Christ consciousness. This is in the plan for each one of you. My dear ones, it is up to you as to when this will happen. It is up to you to decide, is it today or is it 10 lifetimes from now or when? For God has given you the freedom, the free will, to take as long as you want to tarry in these planes on the lower dimensions. And He would not rush you. I could not rush you, and I would not, for it is in your keeping as to how long you want to experience these dimensions. You left home, or the Godhead, the Garden of Eden, whatever version you would like to use, to experience these lower dimensions. And the Father gave you the freedom to do this. And now you are on your way back home. And it is a view to stay longer or to move higher. There are some of you that have the ability to awaken whenever you decide to truly awaken the spiritual giant that is within you, and to know the power and the love and the glory of the universe that God is. As you learn to go within and spend some time within, instead of all of your time in the outer world, as you learn to go within that still place within the center of your being where God dwells, you will become acquainted with His vibrations. You will become acquainted with His love for you. You will learn to know Him, and you will feel His love, and He will talk to your heart. He will show you the way He will show you the way home. It is not easy when you have been conditioned and programmed to believe in the physical plane and to believe in the wealth of the world that will make you happy, that will bring you the things you desire. This is a vicious cycle that you have been in for many, many lifetimes. And you can continue with this, my dear ones, or you can awaken. You can begin to awaken by learning to realize who you truly are, by understanding that your divine nature is within you, not within your physical body, not within your mind, but within the spiritual being that you are. Some of you may call it the soul, but whatever you call it, it is within you. It is not in the outer world. The outer world consists of very little of life. The greater part of life is within. And when you overcome your concept of time and space and realize that the withinness is the greater, then you can drop the illusions of the duality concept and know that you are already home. You do not have to go anywhere. You do not have to do anything. All you have to do is awaken, to realize, to know. Are there questions here this evening that you would ask?
Well, when we try, throughout the day to raise our vibrations, why do we still want all the physical things as far as money and more money all the time, touch, physical touch? Why do we need those?
My dear one, there is nothing wrong with this. This is not something that is wrong. It is when it has captured you fully and possesses you, that you are possessed by it. This is what I am trying to explain to you, that you can have all the material things that you want, but when you are possessed by your possessions, then you miss the pearls of wisdom that I was speaking of, and reaching for the red beads that will soon turn into dust and ashes. For you cannot take anything material with you, not even your physical body, when you leave this plane. But you take your consciousness, you take your awareness of who you are, your understanding of life itself. And if you only have the understanding of physical, then when you leave this plane through what you call the death experience and go to the other dimensions, you are lost for a while until you can awaken to understand that the within is the reality, not the without. Does this help your understanding?
Yes, teacher.
Are there other questions this evening? As I look into your minds, I see questions, and I see a little confusion in some of you, but I tell you, do not be confused by words that are trying to convey a meaning that is almost impossible to convey in words. Your language is so limiting, and the words mean different things to different people. And as you grow in consciousness, as you learn to go within, you have communion with your higher self, or the God within you, without words. You can also have communion with words, but when you learn to truly make the contact within the center of your being where God dwells, the knowing, the feeling, the understanding, the realization is the reality. It is difficult to accept what I'm saying when you have been conditioned just on a physical level, and you have not been given the truth. You have been given the red beads that will soon turn to dust and ashes. Are there other questions this evening?
If we could talk about the methods, mechanics of going within to the center of our being, contacting God within us. First thing we ask is how to, like we were writing a how to do book. And the question arises, is it 20 minutes a day for 20 years of sitting quietly? Is it exercises to attain certain things in our meditation? Could we talk about some methods?
You begin, my dear one, by realizing, and listen to these words, realizing that the life force that you are is God. You see, you are given exercises to practice, and they help in the meditations to sit in stillness and listen. But as you begin to realize that the life that flows through you is God Himself, and that you and God are one, you do not have to do anything. You do not have to go anywhere. You have to just awaken. And the awakening comes from within, not from without. The language that we are speaking, the words that we are speaking, is from without, are they not? And so it is difficult to put into words something that is undiscernible in words. But the closest that we can come to this is to say, wake up. Know that you are not the physical body that you carry around with you. Know that you are not your mind with all of its hang-ups. Know that you are divine, that you are God Himself manifesting on the physical plane with the freedom to do as you will. Without the power of God, you could not think. Without the power of God, you would not have life. So when you awaken to this, when you understand that all is God, not just your physical bodies, not just your mind, but all the material things that you see is a manifestation of God Himself. And when you understand that you can talk to the birds and the trees, to the rocks, to the earth itself, to the wind, to the sun. You are talking to God. It is always there, for there is no other. Setting in stillness, going within, turning off the outer world can be important to your awakening. But this is not the final thing. This is not the final solution. It is just a practice to help you to realize and to listen to that still small voice that is always talking to you, that is always speaking to your heart. It never ceases to speak to you. It does not speak always in words, although it can, but it is talking to your spirit, to the entity that you are, for it is giving you life. And through giving you life, this is a message, is it not? The life that flows through you is like the brook that runs over the rocks and gurgles and falls over the falls. It is life flowing through you, constantly singing a song of love, giving you the life force to be. When you awaken to this understanding that you already are there, you do not have to attain, you do not have to go anywhere. You have to realize your divinity. This is all. It is so simple that everyone misses it, that so many, I should say, miss it, and do not understand the simplicity of it. You look over it, and you try to strain and to attain something through your physical efforts. This is not something that is physical. It is deep within your soul. And when you become still enough from your thoughts of the world, from your concern and worries and doubts and fears, when you turn these off and go into that small place within you, and I should not say small, because it is very large if you're measuring it. When you learn to know and contact this through the understanding, you will know that it is the simplest thing that you can do. It is simplicity itself. Does this help your understanding?
Yes, thank you. I believe that then for realization of ourself, we have to completely abandon our ego protection and trust the thoughts that come to us.
Yes. It is the struggle to succeed with the little self that sometimes keeps you from the kingdom of God. And I do not mean to deny your physical efforts, your work that you do in the physical. It is that it possesses you, and you are possessed by it, is when you miss the mark. The balance is very important. A balance of your physical role that you are playing, your recreation, and your spiritual life. This is the best way to approach reaching the kingdom of God. You cannot run away from what you have made a contract for. And before you were born, you made a contract to play a certain role in this physical plane to help you to eventually awaken to this truth. And so you must continue to play your role until you do awaken. And then when you do awaken, you can continue to play your role, but you will be enlightened. And you will go about knowing the truth with the freedom from the heavy burdens that most carry on this physical plane. Are there other questions this evening? It has been a blessed privilege to be with you and to talk to you on this subject. It is one that is very important to you, to those who are searching for themselves, for their spiritual divinity, and it is one that we will return to again at another time. God bless you, my dear ones, and good evening. As we come together in physical by holding hands, let us bring the spiritual being within us to the outer consciousness. Let us think of that spark of light at the center of our being becoming brighter and brighter until it fills our whole being. And it spreads out, fills this room, covers this city, and covers this planet with God's love. Let us see God's love going ahead of us into this week, into our every thought, word, and deed, into every situation, into every encounter. Let us feel and know the presence within us as we go about doing the things that we do in the physical. Let us continuously be aware of this divine being that dwells within us, waiting to come out and be known. Thank you, Father. Well, it seemed to be a pretty nice message tonight, and we can break it.
Interesting rhythm.
Hmm?
It, for me, interesting it was that particular kind of passage. Particularly pertinent to
Typically you,
maybe other people too.
Cromwell and Ella would talk to us, almost everyone who were away, saying that it was just relief.
It was just for all of us.
But we just happened to be talking about it last one. Last time I talked to him on the phone, we were talking about it. And that's funny.
Where you should come so you can have.
The problem with that, I was going to ask you a question, but while you asked your question, who was answering? And I kept thinking, how am I going to ask this? I said, well, try balance is the word I'm going to use. And then a minute later, that's what you started saying.
They picked it out of your mind, probably. Yeah.
You said about the possession of an illusionary world, and that was thinking to take over. So that was you.
One hell of a said that. Remember this level.
I'd like this next team and
This task, that way I can concentrate on what's being said instead of making what they ask.
They don't want to give them people.
What? Man. It's real.
Yeah.
Don't give me the idea.
That was a tougher subject than it sounded like to start.
I didn't go in with all that. We shouldn't just a little force to the cooking.
But I was thinking of this, you've got your spiritual part, but you're also here to, like you said, you've got a role. And there's something you have to do, and there's a balance between the two. And how do you balance it? Because you know that you can't just shut off the world. That didn't work. You're here to do something.
You're running away from life, and
you're supposed to experience it. That's how you learn. And that's another.
You know, the story of St. Francis of Assisi, it really touched me. And he had such a knowing of God's presence everywhere. And the birds would fly down on his shoulder. And he had such a rapport with nature, you know. And I think that's, you know, seeing God everywhere present is the answer. Anyway, for me, anyway.
Can I make a comment about St. Francis de Assisi? There's a VCR, there's a video called Brother, Son, Sister, Moon. It's about his life.
Movie, yeah.
Have you seen it?
I had seen the movie a long time ago, but
Yeah,
there was a video there.
The VCR, that I can guarantee you that you will not go away unscathed if you watch that.
Yeah.
Or like it. Or double your money back. How's that?
I made a note to look for that, but I haven't found it yet.
I'll play it for you down on 19th Avenue at Osborne, if you wanted.
Good rent and been keeping of this year. They're not even Sunday.
That would be neat.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll actually get up on Sunday.
It needs something good to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Saturday, fearing born.
So can we depend on you to bring it?
I'll be going.
You'll be gone.
On Sunday.
I'll be either in Wayne Park or Sacramento on Sunday. And this
Saturday didn't
the
get
following Sunday maybe.
Right down the
Just-
Neiman place now.
I'll say, don't run down on but did you speak about Saturday?
I'll be in.
Oh, that's
Sunday. And it's country.
okay.
I'll try to figure it out. I'll call and see if they have it.
There's a video store that is just north of Osborne on 19th Avenue at a little squeezed-in center.
Wires forward.
On the one side.
Affirmative.
Didn't
The little bit did it. Here, if you'll check that out,
pick it up, Pete.
we will cover your cost.
But I'm just going to figure it out.
Oh, you got insurance.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I'll take care of that. It may be in some of these around here. I'll call around closest to anything.
I like
That I'll call.
everybody.
What's the name of this video store?
That's a good question.
But I'll look at under video store and then maybe I'll be in the
about 2 hours. Something yet.
Yeah.
Let me go with the editor for Star Video or what, but then get Superstar.
Superstar.
Best way is just in drive devil there. The other subject to talk about for Sunday afternoons, is one that Sally Kerr might be interested in. What if everybody on a warm Sunday afternoon brought their old sack for lunch and had a picnic in the backyard? Would that work?
That was where I got that rumor started.
Yeah,
It would look odd like though. I'm trying to blame it on Sally the best I can.
Well, I was talking about it before class, and Thursday's Thanksgiving, and I wonder if we shouldn't wait,
to spend Sunday completely.
until another Sunday, because it'd be right.
There is a gestation period with many hours. That's why I bring some of these things up.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't wait until February,
Plant the seed. And
or
we'll do it, though.
what video did they see last Sunday?
It was on Egypt. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Right.
And
can.
It's got the history of Egypt only from a spiritual viewpoint.
And the pyramids and how they fit in with indocracy.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
along the Nile River is like the spine,
Spinal cord.
and then where they build all the different religious centers and pyramids. It's like corresponds to the Shara area.
And when we were there, this is how we attained these. Starting at the base and going up.
Priest. Very, very informative. Elena and I are getting to know each other real.
Yeah, kept down.
Well, you're both lucky. What's the name of it?
I have it.
Oh, it in the posted.
I also thought about singing for some Alan Watts things. In the 60s, Albert and I used to watch on Thursday nights on Channel 8, Alan Watts. He would, I think it's a half hour, an hour, I'm not sure. But he is an Oriental philosopher, one of the universities, UCLA, I think. And what he had to say was very interesting.
So,
I was watching, just glancing at a movie last night on television. It was called, Kung Fu. And there must have been so much metaphysical, and the Chinese,
I was watching Karate Kid #2. It was pretty high. They have to do that to do that. I mean,
Well, Alda told us many years ago that the masters are working through the movie makers and the writers to raise the consciousness of the masses. Well, should we call it a class?